Every time I don't play with who's on the invite list when it comes to planning out of town trips. So the year was 2020. It was November. We were fresh on campus, and I think it was like during COVID, so like we were on lockdown, so classes were online. So I was living with two close friends. We'll call one Pink and we'll call the other one America. One random night, America, I remember she was at home, so me and Pink were just in the apartment, and like we were just bored. So I think that we decided to just hang out for a little bit, and we decided to plan an out of town trip. We decided to go to Atlanta. So in the midst of us planning, we decided that of course we were going to invite America, but I came up with the idea to invite Pink's external friend, who was her best friend from home, and we'll call her Purple for this story. A little bit of backstory: Purple didn't go to school with us, but like, you know, she did come and hang out with us on like 2 occasions, with the most recent occasion being 2 weeks before Pink and I decided to plan this trip. So once we finished planning the trip, like we sent the girls the information, both girls were on board, so like everything got paid for, whatever. Fast forward, it's time for the trip. All the girls are excited. We all in the group chat like, oh my god, we can't wait to hang out, blah blah blah. Fast forward, we are on the plane. I think that the two best friends, so Pink and Purple, I think that they rode together. Remember, Pink is the roommate with me and America, and then me and America, we also flew together. So we all ended up meeting up in Atlanta's airport, and I think we all met like either while walking to baggage claim. And I remember we all got our bags, and literally in the midst of us getting our bags, like out of nowhere, Purple started like getting little attitudes, which didn't make sense to me, but I was just like, okay, maybe she's just irritated from the flight. So I remember Pink asking her best friend, she was like, what's wrong? And I remember her being like, nothing. But it wasn't like a genuine, like, oh, nothing's wrong, like, I'm just quiet right now. It was like a nothing, like she was irritated. So I remember me and America were kind of looking at each other like, okay, like, you just kind of threw the vibe off because we was just all happy. Like, how did you just get upset in the span of like 2 to 3 minutes? Like, it just didn't make sense. But we ignored it. We get outside of baggage claim, so we're calling our Uber. And in the midst of us calling our Uber, like, Purple was off to the side, like on her phone, texting, doing whatever, while the rest of us were like, okay, cool, like, we're going to get this Uber and we're going to go and get us a zip car. So we decided to Uber to the zip car location. And once we got to the zip car location, like, we were literally trying to figure out how to get the car, like, how would we pay for it? Like, we were truly struggling. And it was like a bit of a process to where, okay, I could see why somebody would get upset, but it was more so like, okay, let's figure this out. Therefore, you know, if we do get the zip car, we won't have to Uber everywhere. As America, Pink, and I are like talking about it, trying to figure it out, and like, okay, cool, well, maybe this not gonna work out. Literally out of nowhere, Purple just start like spazzing off on the corner to herself, and she just like, this shit irritated me, like, I don't want to be here, like, I'm getting irritated, like, I'm ready to go, like, what's taking so long, blah blah blah. So I'm looking at Pink and I'm like, what's wrong with your friend? And she literally fed her off like, ignore her, like, you know, like, just whatever, like, don't even pay no attention to her. So I'm like, okay, cool, because I could care less anyway, but like, just to make sure somebody is comfortable and like everything is cool, like, you know, I was just gonna ask. Left it alone. So we end up getting in the Uber. We end up saying, forget the zip card. We end up going to the Airbnb that we had booked. So we get to the Airbnb, and literally, y'all, we was only in the Airbnb for a good maybe 5-10 minutes. Not even a full 10 minutes. All I know is like Purple on the phone. And I guess Purple was on the phone with one of her little friends from Chicago. And like her friend was like, what are y'all doing? Like, y'all in the Airbnb, like, y'all should be out. Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all being boring. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay. I try to hold my tongue when it comes to other people's friends, especially when, like, you know, I'm just like, okay, cool, like, maybe that's just how she get down, like, you know, it's those group of people who be like so rah-rah and fast to go, fast on the move, but like, that's not me, and that's not any of our vibe in the group, not even her best friend at the time. So I'm just like, okay, girl, like, whatever. I'm still brushing it off, though. But also, I can see that America's getting irritated, and Pink is also side on her, like, girl, like, tell your friend we literally just got here. And he was like, yeah, I know y'all just got here, but, like, damn, do something, whatever. So he ends up off the phone, so we all decide that we're hungry. So we end up hitting up OLG. I don't remember much of what happened on the car ride to OLG, but what I do remember is that, like, once we got in there, we sat down, we sat in, like, the little basement part. We ordered our food, and, like, we're all talking and having conversation, like kikiing and everything like that, and Purple's kind of like standoffish, like she's not talking to us, like barely paying attention to us, on her phone the whole time, eating her food. Like, she would look up here and there, kind of sort of, not really too engaged with us, but like, it was kind of like a yeah, like that type of thing. when you already see that somebody's not interested in whatever it is that y'all talking about, you're not finna keep fishing to pull them into the conversation. And I feel like that was more so where America and I were. We were like, okay, like, this is your friend. Like, granted, like, I was down to invite her, but it's just like, you kind of not making this experience enjoyable for everybody if you gonna like be acting weird like that. So we pushed her to the side, whatever, not paying attention to you. We end up paying our bill. We end up leaving. We call another Uber. So when we get in the Uber, I guess what she was doing on her phone was looking for plans for while we were down there, because imagine we were only staying for a couple of days. I think it was like 3 days we were there, and we left on like that 4th day. So basically, we get in the Uber. She's on the phone with the same dude who she was on the phone on the phone call with at the Airbnb when we first got there, and literally all you hear is him just like, "So what y'all doing now?" And she just like, "No, I skipped the part." So we get in the Uber, and all you literally hear is like her being like, "Oh, y'all," like, while she on her phone, she like, "Oh, y'all, like, I see that such and such rapper having like this little party, and like my cousin know him, and so like my cousin can get us in his section and have us on the stage with him, and blah blah blah. It's gonna be at this club at this time. Like, y'all, we should go, or whatever." So me, America, and Pink, if I'm being honest, like, we was all like, I don't know, because it's like, you're saying it's your cousin, but yeah, when we all like did the little discussion of like, do we know people in Atlanta? You was like, no. So you're just like, okay, cool, noted. And then like, you want us to be in this rapper section and stuff like that. It's like, is that something that we really want to do? Mind y'all, this rapper literally night. But before we even knew what was happening at that point, we was just like, nah, like, we not really feeling it like that. Like, we didn't come here to be on like no section hopping type of vibe. Like, you know, like, we came here to have fun, but like not at the expense of somebody else. So I guess she didn't like what we were putting down. And really, I think it was Pink doing more so of the talking, because she already knew like what me and America wanted to do while there or whatever. So she literally picked up the phone, called this friend that she was on the phone with before we even left to go to eat. And she like, "Man, they being boring. Like, they being boring as hell. Like, da-da-da-da. Like, they not trying to do nothing. Like, we just ate, and like, they not saying like what we gonna be doing next, blah blah blah." Imagine she said this in front of all of us. And me, I'm the type of person where like, I don't care about what nobody's saying. Like, as long as you don't say nothing that's a direct attack towards me, or you don't say nothing that'll make me be like, okay, now I'm gonna curse you out, like, I'll let you slide with whatever it is that you're saying, because I'm just like, girl, I really don't care. And plus, you're not even my friend. Like, if anything, I would allow your best friend to say something to you, you know? Like, I'm not just gonna jump out and curse you out because, you know, I'm gonna just leave it up to your best friend. So, like, while she's saying this and stuff like that, I do remember Pink intervening and being like, "Girl, like, you're doing way too much." And then she told the boy that she was on the phone with, she was like, "Yeah, because, like, she not even talking to me. Like, she being weird. She being weird as hell. Like, she's only talking to her friends." Mind y'all, we were literally trying to include this girl in the conversation at the restaurant, but she was the one who was ignoring us. Go to part 2.